Hail Grande Alive, this is your weekly Newsish Roundup, brought to you by Grande Hospital, Anything to Digital, EONI, and Northwest Furniture and Mattress. Earlier this week, millions of people migrated globally to see front and center the full solar eclipse. And man, I gotta say, speaking as a person who saw it from Baker City in all its totality, it was mind-boggling. Here's a couple images taken by NASA across the United States. Here's one from Greenville, South Carolina. Here's one from Hopkinsville, South Carolina. And here's one from Jefferson City, Missouri. We also got some cool video of the event from Baker City, Oregon this year. And the event was just the beginning. Many people have spent all this week thinking about what exactly the eclipse really meant to them. One weird bearded guy wrote this in a poem about his experience with the eclipse. You never understand the value of the light until you've looked directly at the sun and felt it covered up. But not everyone is as weird as that guy, and I got the opportunity to walk around and talk to a bunch of normal Lagrandians this week about their most memorable experiences of the eclipse.
The most memorable thing for the eclipse was the drastic change in temperature, how cold it got in such a short period of time.
My most memorable experience was the quality of the light just after the total eclipse.
Being able to experience something that is usually a once-in-a-lifetime experience for most people, even if it wasn't in totality.
Well, the part I liked it most was noticing the change in temperature when we got to total eclipse. It really cooled off.
So what about you, Grande Alive? What was your most memorable moment of the eclipse? Post in the comments and we'll put your name into a drawing to appear in your own Coffee with Will to talk about you and your experience of the eclipse this year. I promise you, it's easier than pie and a whole heck of a lot more tasty.
Yummy.
This title story was brought to you by
Grande Hospital. Big city hospital, small town care.
Beer! Beer! Everyone loves beer. Well, most people like beer. I'm not one of them, but most of you Oregonians are. And last weekend, just before the eclipse, the Grande hosted its 4th annual beer festival at the Union County Fairgrounds. Hundreds of beer lovers from all over Eastern Oregon and elsewhere meccaed to this oasis of craft beer culture, music, food, and overall festivities to enjoy over 80 craft beers from Portland to Colorado, here to be tasted, tried, and enjoyed.
I'm from Hood River, actually Upper Hood River Valley.
I'm from Hermiston.
Well, we've come here for the last, this is our 3rd year here now. And it's really a nice venue.
It's growing every year. I love that it's bringing more crafted beers to our area. We live in a secluded area of La Grande. However, we love to drink beer here. It's a small town. There's not a lot to do. I mean, there's weather. There's lots to do at times, but there's always beer drinking.
Last night, about 100 people gathered at the Blue Mountain Conference Center to give their input into the B2H issue yet again. After a long and somewhat tedious presentation about the appeal process, things got a little spicy at the conference center as people began to express their extreme distaste at not only the idea of particular routes of the B2H power line, but also the idea of a new power line in general.
They want to put it right in front of the Oregon Trail Interpretive Center. They want to put it right through our Oregon Trail ruts, right up on this hill. They want to make us look at it and our grandkids look at it, and I'm not going to stand for it, and I want you and about 10 of your friends, if this thing goes through, we will swear to lock arms up there, and they'll have to arrest every single one of us.
People were very frustrated at the entire idea of a new power line and didn't want it anywhere near La Grande. Plus, after that long and extremely technical speech about how to be involved in the appeal process, nobody still seemed to know exactly how they could best get involved. People yelled, people made passionate speeches, and generally expressed frustrations. And even the county commissioners seemed a little frustrated at their seeming lack of power and options for their voices being really heard. But one voice, Irene, with the Stop B2H Commission, seemed to know what she was talking about and have an answer for how people could get involved.
Right now, the counties and the cities have a lot of influence over the decision process that's going to happen. And this is a place where just the people out there normally don't get to comment, but it is an opportunity to really influence things. And that is, if you give information and comments to these folks, and they include it in their comments to FSAC, FSAC cannot ignore their comments. They tend to do that with just the public. But the more information that you give them about details of problems, and the other important thing with them is they don't have to go to the Oregon Supreme Court. If they disagree with the decisions they're getting, they can go to the county courts. That's a huge difference. We at Stop B2H, I've gone to virtually every FSAC meeting for over 7 years. I've been involved with contested cases with them. I know a lot about the barriers that they put in front of you. And if you contact Stop B2H, we will look at your comments and we will help you identify the rules and statutes that you can reference to meet the standard of specificity that they require.
So bottom line, though the process is frustrating and complicated, if you have concerns about the B2H line on your property or near you, or even anywhere in LeGrand, contact Irene with Stop B2H right here in LeGrand at this number. LeGrand Alive will have more on this story as it develops. And that's your weekly Newsish Roundup. This roundup was brought to you by Northwest Furniture and Mattress, Grande Ronde Hospital, Anything 2 Digital, and EONI. Please like and share this video and tune into LeGrandAlive.tv for more local content. I'm Will Bowman.